The legend of Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier. This fight, guys, was so entertaining. I have to say, this might have been one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. So entertaining. I mean, if there was a live like crowd there, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Um, Dan Hooker's a really good fighter. Like I'm really impressed by him because this fight was really close. I knew that Dustin Poirier. I had Dustin Poirier winning anyway, which he did, but wow, was this a close fight because Dan Hooker won round one and round two. Round three was pretty close, right? But Dustin kind of edged him out apparently, and then Dustin clearly won four and five. I'm happy that Dustin won. I think it's fair. Although, if it was a split decision or even a draw, I wouldn't have been surprised because, I mean, these guys brought it. But at the same time, listen, Dustin deserved to win because, in the end of it all, right, it is how you finish too. It is how you finish because even in the end, when you see Dustin, he's just so much fresher, and he's just like, I'm having a blast to my coaches and stuff. Like, I think that really, that really shows a lot, because Dan Hooker's more of a starter anyway. If you look at his fights, his best rounds are the first round, second round, right? Like, and then his flame kind of dims afterwards. But Dustin, on the other hand, like he was a little bit of a slower starter, I guess, feeling him out, and then fifth round, I mean, that was a clear win for Dustin. If you look at the fight, rewatch it at the end, because when Dan Hooker crawls up, like when he's literally on his hands and he's crawling up to talk to Dustin, and then he puts his forehead on Dustin, and Dustin kind of pushes him away. I think Dustin Poirier might have taken it as like a sign of disrespect, maybe like you're trying to headbutt me. But if you look back on Dan Hooker's like history with even Paul Felder, right? That fight, I didn't agree with the decision. I thought Paul Felder won that fight. But regardless of that, he shows that he's from New Zealand, and this is like a culture thing where it's a sign of respect, where you put your forehead on someone else's and you say something. I forgot what you say, but it's like a sign of respect, and I don't know if Dustin took that as you're trying to headbutt me, and Dan Hooker was saying, no, I respect you, especially like the way that he crawled up to him. Like, I just thought like that was kind of like a bowing sort of way, like, yes, you defeated me, I respect you. I think it shows like such sportsmanship. Even like the video that he did after, to say like, no regrets, no worries, like, he's a better man, which I love. Like, I don't like to see like sore losers, even though I'm sure it's hard to lose, especially like physically. But yeah, like I like both of them. Let me know in the comments who you think should fight Dan Hooker, because I think Tony Ferguson should fight Dan Hooker. I would love to see that fight happen. But let me know in the comments, because if Khabib wins, right, versus Justin Gaethje, then Dustin Poirier is going to have a really hard time, because I don't know if he can beat Khabib. I mean, if he can somehow use his boxing, because on the ground, I don't see Dustin winning. But if he can somehow get him hit and get him hurt, because Khabib hasn't really, like, he has taken hits, but Dustin Poirier is on a different level. Like, this guy, everything he throws is 100%, and it's just like, I don't even know how Dan Hooker was taking all of that. And also, Dan Hooker was really strong too. Like, if you look at Dustin Poirier's face, I mean, he took so many unanswered shots, so many just flush right in the face. So, I mean, give it up to these two warriors. They're really good. So let me know in the comments, who do you think is next for both of these fighters? Thanks.